Well. It is official right here at game time. Game's going to kick off here in just a few. CADE Klubnik is out versus SMU with an ankle injury. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. A guy who's taken a lot of flack for, well, he's a starting quarterback. Sure, he's missed open receivers here and there. But, last time I checked, the guy doesn't call offense. Last time I checked, the guy doesn't block. Last time I checked, the guy doesn't play defense. Last time I checked, he's not developing players at each position. He is the quarterback. He will catch a lot of flack. But today, CADE Klubnik is out, and we're going to see Christopher Vizina coming in and taking snaps. And no offense to Vizina, he came to Clemson so they would develop him. That's kind of a thought that most people would have when they go to a school. And as we've seen over the past 2 weeks against two of the worst college football teams, period, in North Carolina and Boston College, he's struggling. He does not look comfortable. He doesn't look ready. He doesn't look like he's been sitting on the bench for 2 years, soaking up wisdom and knowledge and all that is. He looks like someone right out of high school who just is struggling, right? So when this line opened, it was an 8.5. Clemson was an 8.5 point favorite. It got up to 9.5 points on Friday morning. Then yesterday, an announcement was made that CADE may not play due to the ankle injury that he suffered late in the third quarter when he should have been pulled from the game. They were up by a lot, but what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube watching his team fall apart and screaming at the TV, pull him before he gets hurt. Yeah, he's hurt. We all saw, we've seen this happen before. And anyway, he is out. I believe this ends a 34-game win or a starting streak for him. Not win streak. I wished it was a win streak. But I believe it is a 34-game streak as the starter. Yeah, I just read that here. So I hate it for Klubnik. The line has, when I said yesterday it was at 9.5, then the announcement was made. It dropped to 5.5. Here we are at kickoff. It's now dropped to 3.5. Clemson is a 3.5 point favorite going into this game with no CADE Klubnik. So the question really is, how are they going to, play this game? Well, first off, offense or no offense, the defense has to step up. They have to contain Kevin Jennings. This is a guy who's passed for over 1,650 yards. So for anyone who's looking at Jennings going, oh, this is a mobile quarterback, he's running all over, this guy has passed for 1,650 yards. Yeah, he can run. His first choice is to pass. And that's what Rhett Lashley wants him to do, is to pass the football, right? Yeah. So that's what he's doing, and his stats says that, right? So they have to limit him but still bring pressure. Don't allow the pocket to break down. That's on the defensive side of the football. Let's talk about the offensive side of the football. First off, if Vizina is not cutting the mustard, whatever that means, you have to bring Pierman out. Well, Christopher has been patiently sitting there and waiting behind, and I quote Nick Saban, the best coach to ever coach college football. Best coach to coach college football is not Kirby Smart or Urban Meyer or Dabo Swinney or Bobby Bowden or Joe Paterno, or you can keep on going there. Jimmy Johnson, those guys were unbelievable. The hands down best college football coach to coach in the modern era, post-World War II, is Nick Saban. And Nick Saban says, my job is to start the best people, the best players. All right? So I'm going to hang my hat on what that man with 7 national championships between LSU and Alabama, 6 at Alabama, 1 at LSU. I think I'll stick with him. Though I've never coached, I've never played before, I feel quite confident leaning with his opinion, leaning towards and holding on, in fact, bear hugging his opinion. And the thing is that if Vizina is not cutting it, and again, I mean, he would be a third quarterback in a row, DJ CADE, and Vizina, that hasn't been developed by the coaching staff. you're going to have to bring Pierman out as much as you may not want to, because are you going to be more loyal to one person versus the however many other players that are outside that one person on Clemson's football team? You have to start the best person. Let me rephrase this. You don't have to do anything. But if you want to win, you're going to have to start the best players. You're going to have to start the players who are excited. You're going to have to start the players that can get the job done. And so this Clemson game's about to kick off without a guy who has started 34 consecutive games. And we were already struggling before. But to sit and watch this is absolutely laughable, folks. By the way, Vanderbilt just beat LSU. Just to kind of give you a temperature check on who can beat LSU versus who can't. Ole Miss could beat LSU. Vanderbilt could beat LSU. But, yeah, going to leave that right there. Oklahoma right now is beating the crap out of South Carolina in Columbia. That's fun. That was fun. The only touchdown the Gamecocks had was a drive where Oklahoma committed one really dumb penalty. But they had about 3 big pass interference play. Well, they had 2 pass interference and one late hit, and that was the one that really started the whole flow. Other than that, South Carolina couldn't move the ball down the field without help from the yellow flag. Now, these were fouls. That was the correct call, but I'm just saying that's the only drive they scored. And by the way, probably one of the worst play calls I've seen in quite a while. They had the ball all the way down to the about 6-inch line, and they put Lanaris Sellers, Gamecock or not, 6'3", 230 pounds, one of the most physical backs or quarterbacks in the game. They put him not under center and let him fall forward 6 inches. No, they set him up in shotgun formation or pistol formation. I'm trying to remember what the formation. Either way, he was not under center, and they got stopped. They eventually punched it in. But it was some of the worst play calling I've seen in quite a while. So I mean, I miss my calling to be a college football coach. I mean, I could call some really bad plays and still make $500,000 a year, $750,000 per year. Yeah. Dumb decision by me, folks. Dumb decision by me. Let me see. I am looking to see if the game if it's about to kick off. I know some games are running over, but I will tell you this, that sitting and watching that game end up being the way that, watching LSU get pushed around by Vanderbilt says a lot. Good for Vandy, by the way. So right now, I think they're getting very close to kicking off right now. In fact, I have the game on right now. I'm not going to show it or else I'll get a copyright strike. But this is big for us for next year. This is big for us for next season. I warned you that if Clemson couldn't get it done with this roster, that unless they had some massive coach overhaul and then probably went to the portal and brought in specific players that would fit the game plan of said coaches, like Kirk Cignetti has done. He's done a very good job. And retained any recruits that they felt like would fit the game plan. That this coming season would be quite terrible. Today, you're going to see who the leader of that offense will be next year, because it won't be CADE Klubnik. And so for any of you who are like, Brian, you're just a little too negative, folks, I just talk about what's happening at Clemson. I'm not the one who went 3-3 when you were supposed to be like, 5-1 right now at worst. But today, a lot of people's eyes will be open, and whether you want to see it or not, you will see it. And I think that you're going to see Clemson struggle. Even before the news came out about Klubnik, definitely I picked SMU to win this game. I don't believe that our coaching staff knows how to coach a complete 4 quarters of football. They've yet to do it this year. They have not done it whatsoever. They ended up losing the Georgia Tech game because they had a game plan for quarters 2, 3, and 4. Quarter 1 was blah, and that ended up costing you the ball game. Syracuse, we can't even talk about that. Syracuse just absolutely humiliated them. LSU, they have a big name playing the SEC, have a lot of good players, but they're not that great. They're not bad, but they're not good. They're not. Or let me rephrase that. They're not elite. They're a good team, but they're not elite. And so, for any of the LSU fans that was talking trash to me about, my comments on Brian Kelly, I told you that this was going to happen, and it did happen. You just lost to Vanderbilt. I believe you lost the last 2 out of 3 ball games. Yeah, I wonder how confident you are right now. You're probably not. But hey, it's all fun and games in sports. The game has just kicked off. Clemson gets the football, folks. I'll see you here at halftime. This is going to be absolutely crazy. Real quick shout out, Tyler Kemper. Thanks for joining the channel. You became a buddy. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on a monthly